Hey there and welcome. So let's get right into it. We're going to take grammar, that subject you probably dreaded in school, and turn it into a secret weapon for your career. I'm serious, especially if you're in the tech world. All right, let me ask you something and be honest. Does your grammar, the way you talk, actually match up with how smart you are? Because here's the thing, when you're shooting for that next big leadership role, how you say something can be just as critical as what you're saying. And that's really the whole point of this explainer. This isn't about, acing some grammar quiz. Nope. This is about building your professional image. How you speak directly impacts how people, interviewers, your team, see you. It speaks volumes about your clarity and your attention to detail. Okay, first up on our list, verb patterns of preference. I know, it sounds super academic, right? But stick with me. This is really just a fancy way of talking about how to sound decisive and collaborative. It's about knowing when to stand firm and when to work with the team. And I mean, that's what leadership is all about, right? You're always juggling priorities, suggesting different ways to do things. So these little grammar patterns, they aren't just some dusty old rules. They're literally the tools you use for that day-to-day leadership talk. Nailing them makes you sound so much more natural and in control. Okay, let's look at a super simple example. Take the phrase, don't mind. The rule here is easy. Always follow it with the ing verb. So it's, I don't mind staying late, not I don't mind to stay. It seems like a tiny thing, right? But trust me, it's one of those little details that just screams fluent and polished. Okay, want to know a real power move, a pro tip? When you want to politely suggest someone else do something, this is the magic formula. I'd rather plus who you're talking to plus a past tense verb. Like, I'd rather we discussed this. See how smooth that is? It's not a command, it's a preference. That is some next level leadership communication right there. All right. Moving on to number 2, causative verbs. And all this means is being super clear about who made something happen, who let it happen, or who required it to happen. It's all about cause and effect and who's pulling the strings. And this is so practical. Just think about it. You're in a big interview and they ask you to describe your leadership style. You're going to be using these words all the time. They are absolutely essential for telling a clear, compelling story about what you've actually done. Okay, so the main thing to catch here are the two rebels, make and let. These guys are special. They don't use to. So the deadline made us rethink. Easy enough. Most of the others, force, allow, require, they play by the rules and use to. The policy requires engineers to document. So just burn make and let into your brain as the exceptions and you'll be golden. Okay, number 3. This one is a game changer. Embedded questions. This is your secret weapon for sounding way more diplomatic and polished. Seriously, if you want to crush it in an interview or a big meeting, this is how you do it. Let's break it down. It's a simple 3-step process. 1, you start with a direct question. What should we prioritize? 2, you wrap it in a nice, polite phrase, like, I'd like to discuss. And 3, this is the magic trick. You switch the word order back to a normal sentence. So it's not, what should we prioritize? It's what we should prioritize. See that little flip? That's everything. And boom, look at the difference. The first way, asking directly, it's not wrong, but it's a little blunt, right? Kind of like an interrogation. The second way sounds so much better. It's collaborative. It shows curiosity. It tells them you're a partner, not just a person barking questions. All right, let's talk about number 4. Articles, a, an, and the. Now, let's be real. Messing these up probably won't break a conversation. People will still get what you mean. But, and this is a big but, getting them right is like the final coat of polish on a car. It's what makes you sound truly fluent. And that's really the heart of it. It's not about avoiding confusion. It's about creating a smooth experience for the listener. It's like removing that tiny little bit of static on the line. When you get articles right, everything you say just flows better. So let's boil it down to 3 core rules you can use right away. Rule 1, use a the first time you mention something. I managed a team. Rule 2, once we both know which team we're talking about, you switch to the team. And rule 3, for those big abstract ideas like quality assurance or innovation, you usually don't need any article at all. Simple as that. All right, here we go. This is the big finale. We're going to take all these separate pieces and put them together. You're about to hear what it sounds like when all these tools are working in harmony. This is the payoff, folks. So just listen to this quick story. It's confident, it's clear, it's persuasive, it's a perfect little package of leadership communication. And now we're going to pull it apart piece by piece and see exactly what makes it tick. Okay, so right out of the gate, we hear a clear preference. Keen on catching. There's that ing form we talked about. It's not just a grammar rule, it shows a strategic way of thinking. And then it immediately gets more sophisticated with that would rather trick. I'd rather the team focused. See? That's not an order. That's a leader painting a picture, sharing a vision. It's powerful stuff. Then, bam, a causative verb. The management made us justify. No two, it's super precise. We know exactly who required what action, which is vital for understanding the challenge they were facing. And watch this beautiful transition. It goes from that past problem to total confidence in the present. I'm not sure anyone would question the approach. That's our embedded question right there, sounding so self-assured, but not cocky at all. And where did this whole powerful story start? With the basics, with perfect article usage. The very first line, I led a QA team. It's so simple, but it's the foundation that makes the whole thing sound smooth and professional. Every single piece works together. And here's the bottom line. This is why we're even talking about this. The end result wasn't just a pretty paragraph. The end result was a 40% drop in defects. That's a real business impact. When you communicate clearly, you get real results. It's that direct. So as we wrap this up, the question really comes back to you. We've looked at 5 specific upgrades, but really, they're all just tools to help you sound clearer, more confident, and more strategic. So, which tool are you going to pick up and master first?